And now, here with another designated podcast are Teddy and JJ.
Hey everybody, it's JJ and Teddy back for another designated podcast. Been a while since we had one of these things, so we figured we got a lot to talk about. Let's get to it.
It's an award-winning podcast, and we've been celebrating.
Yeah,
but
we
now
have.
we're
It
back
is award-winning.
We're back in the saddle.
It was a slim group that we had to beat out, but we did. So yeah, award-winning podcast. So here we go. You know, this is I guess a great time of year because all the sports are going on at one time. But what I find interesting, it doesn't matter whether these are troubling times or not. I've got a team in the baseball playoffs, and you just forget how great baseball playoffs are when your team – I mean, it's great. I love watching the Rays and the Astros. That's fine. Either one of those teams, I like them both. Don't dislike either one of them. It's fine to watch those games. But as a Braves fan, I mean, you live and die with every pitch. I mean, it's just, middle of August game, you're kind of, it's fine, okay. But in the playoffs, and it's your team, you live and die with every pitch. There's nothing like it.
No, I've got a friend who's diehard Astros, season ticket holder, continue to get messages from him. And, of course, you with the Braves. And it really is. And another neat thing about the game last night, you could hear boos. They let some fans in, so a guy throws the first twice to hold a run on boo.
Right. Hadn't heard that because they don't do that. Right. They don't do that piped-in sound with the boos, which I've always said is one of the stupidest things that fans do in all of sports. Why they boo a pickoff move or consecutive? I mean, what do you want them to do?
Right, but at least ball is back. It was fun seeing guys run after foul balls and stuff like that. Game 5, Astros Yankees was spectacular. Your game was fun. You win the first game of y'all's series, 5-1. Score a bunch late, and as I said, it was kind of a bad good game. There was 22 strikeouts, and it was a lot of bad stuff. You said, "Oh no, it was beautiful. Yeah, it was gorgeous. It was great. Actually, good for you."
Well, as far as the Braves and Dodgers are concerned, I thought for the Braves with the real young pitching that they've got, not having to go on the road and those guys pitch in Dodger Stadium is a little bit helps out. It's put a little bit.
So.
But it's interesting. I mean, they're playing down the road from here. We could actually go over there if they let us in. We could go over there and watch it. But like you said, fans back at the park, you forget about little subtleties like that. Even Justin Turner catches a foul ball and throws it up into the stands for somebody to get.
Right.
You haven't seen that all year.
No, and I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks. Beautiful balls back.
What we're not looking forward to is how Baseball Hall of Famers, 6 of them have died during this year. And it seems like 5 out of 6 of them have died in the last 2 weeks almost. Been a tough go. You've got Brock and Gibson from the Cardinals, Al Kaline from the Tigers. Of course, Joe Morgan the other day, Whitey Ford had just passed away right before that. So it's been a tough go.
Started on January 1st, I think. Nico reminded us Don Larson, not a Hall of Famer, but perfect game guy 56 years ago this last week. I'm glad I'm not in the Hall of Fame right now.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And I was thinking about trying to rank the Hall of Famers in terms of the ones who have passed away. I'm going to say we left out Tom Seaver, by the way, but
Lord.
Which one is the 6th best of that bunch? You can make the case for any of them being the best and any of them being the 6th best.
Cream of the crop.
Even Gibson and Seaver. You think Gibson, but only when you look right at his career, Gibson was just great in the postseason. And he had an unbelievable 1968. Seaver was better over the long term. And by the way, he wasn't too bad in the postseason either with 1969. Lou Brock and Joe Morgan, you kind of go, well, they're both fast guys who were catalysts for their teams. Whitey Ford, Whitey Ford, the old guy, but he was the man when it came to the World Series.
He got it done. And then Al Kaline played forever. He's one of our favorite players growing up.
3,000 hits, youngest to do a lot of things, win a batting title, whatever it was. It's just tough. Baseball Hall of Fame, it's just kind of unusual. It's all happened right now, one after the other. But it kind of reminds you when one of these guys passes away, you remember watching him when you were a little kid, or you remember hearing stories about him.
We're all mortal, and thanks for the memories from those guys. Again, all great Hall of Famers, and nobody could wear a uniform like Lou Brock.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you make the argument of some guys who got in the Hall of Fame, they're kind of fringe. I mean, I even think Ted Simmons going in this year, that's kind of a fringe Hall of Famer a little bit.
He's a really fun player, but yeah.
None of these guys are fringe Hall of Famers.
No.
I mean, on anybody's list, these guys are in. Even if you want to have a top 100 or whatever you want to have.
They define it.
These guys would be in it. Let's switch to college football. Boy, I tell you what, it's been an interesting year.
It's a mess.
In a lot of ways. LSU, I mean, you can say, well, that's horrible defense, but the SEC, nobody's playing defense. I mean, they're like the Big 12 all of a sudden.
It is. And here's Skip Holtz last Friday thought he had his 2 starting offensive tackles for the game, found out that evening he didn't. And those are something that you kind of, need. And so it really alters how you can, call a game. And the officials aren't having a great year either. And that's a little COVID related.
Arkansas-Auburn game comes to mind.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened at Ice Stadium the other night when Tech beat UTEP 21-17 that was mind-boggling official-wise. So it's all messed up, but you do have college football, and college football COVID-stained is better than no college football at all. Yeah,
I mean, as a play on the field, again, defense has always been kind of an iffy situation for whatever reason. I mean, the Alabama Ole Miss game was a track meet the other night. Again, it's kind of hard to put your fingers on who's good and who's not good because they're all playing interconference, and it'll sort itself out eventually. I mean, right now North Carolina is a top 5 team in the country.
Isn't that crazy? You don't know who's getting to practice that week because of contact tracing and all. Well, the other night, one of the tackles at Tech, and he sat out. It turns out he just had a cold. He had sniffles. Yeah. He'll play this week. So there's a healthy 325-pound kid sitting in his dorm room when he should be out there playing ball. It's a jump ball. So you got to kind of be patient with your people and know that you don't know what's going on, but they don't either. And practice is about reps, and when you can't get those, it affects the game, which is about rhythm. So I'm just lucky to have any kind of ball.
Well, you're a lot closer, obviously, been in press boxes all so far during the season. What's the game administration like? What kind of differences do you see in how travel and games are administered and things you can do and can't do?
Okay, if you're traveling like with a team on the plane or something, everybody gets tested 3 times a week. Everybody who's associated with the team. And again, the last test is on Friday, so if the game's on Saturday, it's a last-minute scratch. Everybody's masked up. They don't bring you pieces of paper anymore, stats, unless you ask for them. You get them off the computer. They'll feed the media or the press box people. They bring you a box and, set it by wherever you are. And so it's different in that way. You don't walk around. You go to where you need to go. And
yeah, what about post-game interviews and things like that? Those are Zoom?
All Zoom.
Yeah.
Right. They do all that Zoom. And so, thank goodness for that technology that you've got worked out. But it's, I have been to very few practices. I've been to a couple in the press box where they practice in the stadium. But you try to remove yourself from the guys.
All right, switching gears again, the NBA Finals were completed earlier this week. Lakers won their 17th title or whatever it is.
Who'd they beat?
The Heat, my God, the Heat.
Thank you.
And I am somewhat proud to say that I watched only the end of Game 5.
Exactly what I did.
Right after the Yankees lost, I switched over and watched that. I know Jimmy Butler was great. I know LeBron James was great. Anthony Davis was at times. And I got to tell you, I didn't watch for really one reason. Well, there's 2 reasons. One, I hate the Lakers, so I didn't want to watch them celebrate. But the other reason to me was, and everyone's got their own theories on ratings drops and all that, but for me it was simply time of year. I don't watch basketball in October. Mm-mm. And I don't watch it in September, and I watch it in June because there's nothing other than maybe World Cup and the Cornhole Championships.
Right.
But I wasn't interested in it because I think it was mostly because the time of year. If my favorite team had been involved, I might have changed and would have changed, but I just found it had no juice to it.
Right. It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Calendar-wise, it's like a Halloween in February.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. It just doesn't feel right. It has nothing to do with politics or anything else. It's just it didn't. It didn't feel longest season ever, and good for them that they got it played.
Yeah.
And the last few minutes of that Game 5, I'm thrilled that I watched it. But that did not make me want to watch Game 6.
Yeah, and part B to that was also the fact that it's played in that very
Bubble thing.
Yeah, it just didn't feel right either with the goofy fans cheering or the virtual fans.
You gotta have fans at hoops games.
Yeah,
I mean that's the whole thing. The home court advantage is real.
Yeah.
In that, and so that was missing too.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised the ratings were lower for a number of reasons, and they'll get it all figured out and try it again next year. Now, when they're going to start, because you think about it, training camp would be starting in about a week.
Right.
Yeah. So good luck with that. So we'll see what happens.
I hadn't even thought about that. I don't know when they're going to start.
And speaking of October, Halloween. Now, you know Halloween is one of my least favorite holidays. Mainly because people decorate for it more in advance than they do any other holiday, and I don't understand why.
And
September, they're putting out the orange and the pumpkins and the ghosts and the goblins.
Will not have the lights on at my house. I don't. If a kid comes up to me today or in a random day in March and says, "Can I have some candy?" I say, "Yeah, I'm gonna go buy. I'll find you some candy." But as far as knocking on the door, and there's a person with a driver's license that's asking for candy.
Yeah,
you want me to give you a rump roast or
right.
some bacon? So that's where I had to cut the thing off.
Yeah.
If it's a 4-year-old, I'm here.
Cute.
I'm not giving you apple. I'm giving you chocolate and good stuff. But if you're driving, you got to shut it down.
Just the decorations bother me more than anything else, and the world stops. And it's a moving target, by the way. If we're going to have it on October 31st, let's have it on October 31st. Oh, we're having ours on the 26th or the 28th.
Sunday night at church.
Right. No, you get one day. That's the day. Mm-hmm. All this, come on. Christmas on the same day. Thanksgiving, it's a Thursday. We know when it's going to be. Halloween, we could have.
You can't do whatever you want to do.
No, you get one day, pal.
Plus, you're just Halloween. Be glad you're even a holiday.
Exactly. And by the way, the whole Halloween is it's All Saints Eve, which is November the 1st. So, it's kind of a reason for it to be there.
Don't make us explain this every year.
Yeah, and take your decorations down. Oh, it's September, Labor Day. It's like, okay. Well, I'll try to get over that and try to get in a better mood next time about all things sports and nonsense. No, it's fine. It's a great time of year. It really is.
It is.
And we're glad you joined us. Thanks for listening to the podcast, and we hope to see you again or actually listen to us again soon.